Right. I mean, that's why I keep coming back to this, that it's not a car company. It's a
Right.
technology company that sells cars.
Hmm. Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All. This channel is dedicated to finding out whether I really do know it all or not. Make sure you like and subscribe, and definitely make sure you ask me questions in the comments or at my email address. Okay, so obviously, as Jim Cramer stated in the intro sequence, by the way, that's a fantastic interview. Thank you to Stephen Mark Ryan and Solving the Money Problem for turning me on to this interview. I watched it. It's fantastic. It's really fun to watch Jim Cramer's mind get blown several times by Rob Maurer. He says things like the Cybertruck had like 1 million pre-orders, and you see Jim Cramer just going like...
From sort of, people piecing things together online, the speculation right now is that Tesla's got about 1 million reservations for the Cybertruck already.
Right, because he's like, it's an ugly car, nobody's going to want it, and suddenly he's thinking to himself like, holy crap, where is Tesla going to get stopped, right? Anyway, it's a lot of fun to watch, but that quote that he has, that and he's not the only one by any means, is that Tesla is a technology company that happens to sell cars. He compared it, actually, interestingly enough, to Domino's. He said Domino's is a technology company that happens to sell pizzas, which is a rather interesting thing. In the first case, obviously, Tesla sells other things besides cars. They sell battery packs, both consumer level and also power grid level battery packs. They also sell solar roofs, and they are starting to sell insurance. So there's a whole bunch of things they do besides that. But I think what's more important than that in the valuation of Tesla is that they are effectively a technology company that's outputting a bunch of different technologies into the energy sector. And I guess insurance, which isn't quite in the energy sector, but it's related to automobiles and everything. So it's therefore important that they cover something like that as well. So Tesla cars are computers on wheels. They're not really like internal combustion or ICE cars, hardly at all, except in the exterior that they look like a car, but internally everything is different. So they're really computers on wheels. Also, the machine that builds the machine, which is their gigafactories, is outrageously advanced, and literally every single one is leapfrogging the next one. It's amazing. They're sort of competing with themselves because there's no one left to compete with in the rest of the industry. So Tesla is a tech company that happens to sell cars. What difference does this make? Why is this important? I'm going to go through a few different things. I'm going to start with hyper efficiency. So cars are designed and built to go as far as possible on a single charge, and that, of course, is technology, and there's a lot of software and a lot of hardware that goes into that. The factories are designed to build cars as efficiently as possible, also technology. Full self-driving is learning from a massive data set that's generated by actual users, right? That's us. Well, people who have the cars are generating the miles and generating the data, and that's technology. The Dojo computer that they've just started talking about is a new supercomputer that's being utilized to learn the edge cases, all the hard stuff that full self-driving is still having issues with. And actually, crazily enough, Dojo might actually become the fastest supercomputer in the world, which is just nuts that they're not even trying to do that. And they might, just, by the way, we'll just build the fastest supercomputer in the world while we're doing all this other stuff. All of this is technology. That's huge. What does this mean? This means cost savings and better entities, better vehicles, better battery packs, better solar roofs to the customer. So Tesla and the consumer win. Both of them get better tech at cheaper prices. That's what you get out of this hyper efficiency. Also, there's no static model years with Tesla. I mean, even Apple and everybody, they have the 2020 iPhone or whatever. Tesla just has a Model 3 or a Model Y or a Model S. And every time something good happens, every time they can change something, they change it. They don't really wait until 2020 or 2021 to do that. Sandy Munro, if you watch him at all, he's an amazing guy. You should totally watch his videos. He's completely blown away by Tesla because he used to really, really ream on them. When the Model 3 came out, he just kind of raked them over the coals about how badly built the actual car was. He always talked about how the technology under the hood was great, but the car itself was built horribly. And when you watch him, I think the difference between the April Model Y and the July Model Y of 2020, He's like, they made all the changes he suggested in the matter of just a few months or weeks even, and then they went beyond that. So, he's just kind of blown away by, like, for example, the single piece casting of the rear of the Model Y that they're starting to implement. So the hardware is being improved as soon as possible. Obviously, the software is being improved as quickly as possible also, and being released to us consumers over the air. As soon as it gets validated and is safe, they release it. So what other car have you ever bought that got better with age, right? You buy a car and that's the best it's going to be is when it's new, and then it just kind of goes downhill over time. But Teslas actually improve over time. Even their range and acceleration and stuff improve over time. It's nuts. So let's look at this in total. We have better factories, better software, cheaper cars, more profit, and cars that improve over time. What a crazy kind of situation that is. No other auto manufacturer does that. It's hard to think of another company that does that, right? I guess maybe in the phone space or something, in consumer electronics, they'll release over-the-air updates that maybe make the product better. But with Teslas, they really do make the product better. It's an unquestionable thing that the product is better with the new software that comes out. So let's talk about batteries. Batteries. Developers. This is the most important part of the car, aside, of course, from the full self-driving stuff and all of that, which we'll talk about in just a minute. But it's also the hardest to build. It's the hardest to have a supply of. It's the constraint point. It's what keeps Tesla and other EV manufacturers from manufacturing as many of these vehicles as they want to. Batteries are a BITCH. So they need to be cheaper, but they also need to be better all the time. That's the major sticking point with EVs. Tesla is obviously driving on all of these fronts, along with their partners like Panasonic and CATL, and I just heard that BASF in Germany is also going to be helping them out. So they're working really, really hard to not only vertically integrate, but also partner with others to just basically create as many high-quality batteries as possible. The more they do this, the more they work on the chemistry. I really can't wait for Battery Day to find out what they've got up their sleeves, the million-mile battery, or maybe a 10% improvement, which doesn't sound like that much, but that's a lot, right? If you go from 300 miles to 330 miles of range, that's a big improvement for things. Or they could reduce the battery pack size, make the car lighter and cheaper, and sell it for less money. So all of these things are fantastic. They're all constrained by batteries. So better batteries and cheaper batteries makes better and cheaper cars. That's huge. Insurance. I actually wasn't even going to talk about insurance when I started thinking about this video, but actually insurance is a form of technology and is really critical. There is an actuarial science that's involved in all of this. It's based on statistics. It's based on who you are demographically and what you drive and where you live and all of this stuff. This is a lot of statistics, and it's very important that these actuarial scientists get this right, or else they could either cause their company to go bankrupt or lose customers because they're charging too much money and other companies will charge less. So this is all statistics based, but what Tesla can do is they have the ability to completely drill down to individualize you as a driver because they have all of these sensors on the car. It's baked into the car. So amid the statistical landscape of everyone, they can actually look at you as an individual and they can figure out how much to charge you individually. That's a much more precise thing. I would imagine for most people it will save money. If they notice that you use autopilot every single time you get on the highway and they know that autopilot is safer, then they're going to probably charge you less money. So they can very precisely and probably almost month to month adjust your insurance rates, which is a pretty interesting thing. Other companies, of course, are trying this with their little thing that you carry around with them. But Tesla's got this baked into their machines, right? They've got it baked into their cars. They've got all this sensor suites already there. In addition, if there's a at question of whose fault it is accident, they have video and other records so that they can actually determine who's at fault, which can save a lot of money in court costs because it could be a more open and shut case. It probably will also save them and their customers money because if there's a situation where someone says it's the Tesla owner at fault and it's proved very rapidly that it was the other person at fault, like just the Tesla guy was sitting there, they just came in out of the side, or they crashed an airplane into the Tesla, which I saw this morning. What a nutty thing that is. But anyway, this is going to save money for consumers. And it's going to get data on how better to build and fix the cars, right? If Tesla determines that their rear bumpers, like somebody gets in a fender bender and it costs them $2,000 to fix the rear bumper, they might go like, wait, we can do better, right? So they have a motivation to actually fix their cars to make them easier to repair or not to get damaged in the first place. So that's a huge thing too that other insurance companies simply can't even begin to do. So here again, technology, more precise, More informative data equals better insurance for Tesla and for its owners. Okay, so what about stockholders? I don't know why you always have to say this on YouTube. I'm not a financial analyst. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just saying what I see right now. But anyway, for stock owners, Tesla is a tech company and it deserves tech company valuation. You're starting to see that happen now with the $2,000 valuation. I saw Cathie Wood from ARK Investing. Her base case now is $7,000. That's the base case. Now that's 5 years from now. She's not saying tomorrow it's going to be like that, but by 2025, $7,000 is the base case. That's not even the bull case. And I think she says the bear case is almost completely gone. Like basically if ride hailing and stuff comes out, the bear case goes away. So the base case is like her lowest, and she has been really accurate. So I think you can kind of bank on $7,000 per share now. Of course, when they dilute their shares 5-to-1, it will become less, but whatever that is. There is, of course, a massive upside potential from a growing market, not downside from a static or shrinking one. So EV cars are a growing market. ICE cars or internal combustion engine cars are a static or shrinking market. So which one do you want to invest in right now? I think Ford is trading even less than $6 a share right now, and it's been like, right? And look at other car companies' stock prices too. But you can see that Tesla is going like this, and other car companies are going like this, because people are starting to finally figure this stuff out. The cost curve for Tesla is shrinking. Battery prices are coming down. Electric motors are coming down. The cost of ownership of a car is coming down. The cost of purchasing the car is coming down. When you can buy a Tesla for $25,000 new, I think that's going to be the point where there's just no more argument, right?
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Any kind of quality car is going to cost you in the $20,000 to $25,000 range. If you can buy a Tesla for that cost, and let's say it'll go 200 to 250 miles, and it's a kind of a compact city car. If you want to look at, I did a design of a Model 2 up here. You can look at that. But if you look at that, you can see that that cost curve shrinking is going to continue to grow Tesla's customer base, which is going to do nothing but help the stock market. And consider when Tesla releases their ride-hailing service. I think the general thought now is that they're going to do it with human beings involved first. And that goes back to insurance too, because of course Tesla can insure their ride-hailing service people. I've even heard tell that people are thinking about the fact that perhaps, I think it was Cathie Wood said, that the ride-hailing service could potentially, like Tesla could, I don't know, you work to pay off the car. Like you put some money down, but essentially as you work, they take a cut of it. And so you make less money up front, but you don't have to pay for your car anymore. And that's a huge thing too. That could really drive up Tesla ownership as well, because people could be using it for ride-hailing services and also getting a car out of it. So that's a really, really big upside for sure. So if we think about this, Tesla stock is way up. It should continue to grow over the long term. Again, this is not financial advice. It's just what I'm seeing, right? That's my thing. But anyway, you can see that there's a huge upside for Tesla stock, even now when it's valued at over $2,000 a share. So let's recap. Hyper efficiency, that leads to cost savings, better cars and solar roofs and battery packs and insurance to the consumer, and of course more profit for Tesla. They're improving everything from factories to cars to software constantly. Every single new car, every solar roof, every battery pack is just better. It's not the model, it's just individual cars are getting better and better. That's amazing. They have better batteries and more efficient powertrain. They have better, longer lasting cars and battery packs, and the ability to crank them out fast and faster and faster and faster. The more that they create more of these gigafactories, the more that they are going to be able to create these things. So it's like a positive feedback loop where they make more profit, they make more profit, etc., etc. Better stock value. The stock has moved far more than any other stock I can think of in the past year. I don't know, especially auto stocks, but I can't really think of any other stock, at least at this kind of price range. Maybe if it was $1 and it went up to like $15 a share or something. But in that price range where it's now over $2,000, I can't think of another stock that's grown this much in the past year. And it looks like it should keep on growing. Now, maybe there'll be like, momentary setbacks and so forth, but it should keep on growing for the next several years. So what is Tesla? It's not a car company. It's a disruptive force of nature in the auto and energy sector is what it is. And that's what you should think about it as. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, definitely make sure you hit the thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe for more of these. And definitely ask me questions in the comments or at my email address, which is drknowitallknowstech@gmail.com. Till next time, bye-bye.